Hello, and welcome to my video project about ethanol as a biofuel. CH3CH2OH, commonly known as ethanol, is the alcohol that humans consume in beverages, but it can also be a fuel source. Made from the fermentation of various plants, primarily corn, wheat, and sugarcane, ethanol is a biofuel, because it is made from living things and their byproducts, otherwise known as biomass. Biofuels are important because, unlike fossil fuels, which can take hundreds or even thousands of years to form, biofuels are made of living things that can be quickly and relatively easily grown. In the case of alcohols such as ethanol, the energy in them comes from starch and sugars in plants. Through the process of photosynthesis, plants store the sun's light energy as chemical energy in molecules such as glucose. And through the process of fermentation, these molecules can be broken down into alcohols, which in turn hold chemical energy in their own molecular bonds. This illustration shows how the carbon dioxide produced in the production of ethanol and the burning of ethanol as fuel is partially mitigated because carbon dioxide is absorbed by the plants which are used in the production of ethanol. The impact and the future of ethanol as a biofuel. The primary need for energy in our society is in transportation. Economically, there are some benefits, but there are some problems of using ethanol as fuel. Using ethanol would create jobs, especially in rural areas where land would need to be used to create more crops to create more ethanol. Ethanol has a higher potential availability than fossil fuels, which is good, and it's a longer-term solution than fossil fuels because fossil fuels are non-renewable. However, many engines are not equipped to be able to handle ethanol as fuel, so ethanol could decrease engine lives. Ethanol is also less efficient than traditional fuels such as gasoline. And ethanol production would require the use of fertile land, which is currently being used in agriculture to make food. Environmentally, ethanol is very good and beneficial. Ethanol burns cleaner than and more completely than other fuels. Carbon dioxide emissions are partially mitigated, as previously mentioned, because the plants used in the production of ethanol would absorb some of the carbon dioxide in a large amount, however, a large amount of energy is needed to grow the crops. This is why, going forward, because of this large amount of energy and the fact that there's not enough land to create the more ethanol, we would need to have research on different ways to create ethanol more efficiently, both cost-effectively and environmentally beneficially. More research would need to be made on different plants, possibly that could be used in the production of ethanol, and algae might be one venue that could be explored, and there just need to be a lot more done so that we can have the resources and the land and the money to be able to make ethanol a cost-effective alternative to fuels that we use now. And now here are my sources. I use National Geographic, the article Biofuels Explained. From the U.S. Department of Energy, they have a website called the Alternative Fuels Data Center. I got some data from there. From Let's Talk Science, the article How's Ethanol Made? From treehugger.com, the article Pros and Cons of Ethanol Fuel. And from techoid.com, I got the diagram about the carbon dioxide emissions from an article titled Bioethanol, the Fuel of Tomorrow. Thank you for listening to my presentation.